in a universe where life does not end at death. We explore the infinite possibilities forged by our very minds. Welcome to Arthadian Anthologies. Greetings, fellow travelers and storytellers. Welcome to the Season 4 premiere of Arthadian Anthologies. In this season premiere, myself, Jaron, and Oscar will be hinting at what is to come in this new age. Before we get started, I would like to do a little round of introductions for those who haven't met Jaron and Oscar. Jaron, would you kindly go first in your introduction?
Will do, Matt. Okay, hey audience, I am back. Again. Now, I've definitely become a reoccurring figure here, but
Yes.
happy to do it. So, my name's Jaron. Good friend of Matt's. Known him for probably about 5 years now, maybe? Roughly?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to keep track of when it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Met in college. Really got along. However, I started playing characters in Matt's game, mostly known for William Soar and a bit of Cyron, which you'll be getting a lot of in Season 4.
Yes, indeed.
But that is the extent of my contribution for now.
Oscar?
Well, hello, back again. So I'm Oscar, another good friend of Matt's. Haven't known him as long as Jaron had, but it's been like 4 years.
Yeah,
3 or 4 years.
When we worked together at Splitsville,
Yeah.
a bowling alley. We used to go bowling a lot.
Oh yeah, you do love your bowling there. And
Oh, yes, I do.
like Jaron, I've accustomed to this game, which I kind of like.
You kind of like?
My bad. I love. My bad. I know it was an advertisement of some sort. Okay, but I had my fair share of character creations. Maybe you wouldn't have known, but there's Ulysses. There's Arcantos.
Ulysses was mentioned once in Season 2.
2, yeah. But if from our pre-gaming in a way, he was extensive in the storyline beforehand. But that was my first character creation. Wasn't the prettiest, but it's still something in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
There's Arcantos.
Arcantos!
And now I'm trying to build him up, as well as going for a third character, Jaeger.
Yeah.
From our Electron 5 entry 100 right there.
Yeah.
And that's a bit about me. Just going with the flow. Loving.
So today we have our Podcast Reborn for a second time. You guys were here for the Season 3 premiere, and I wanted to have you both here again for the Season 4 premiere. You guys are technically my
mainstays.
my main chosen. You with William and Cyron, you with Arcantos, Jaeger. Well, technically Jaeger was Ryan's, and we're kind of trying to implement him into it a little bit.
In such a way. Yeah. But not fully, because it'd be just mainly Arcantos at this point.
Arcantos is kind of like your main go-to, and we'll see.
We'll get to me.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
But first question I want to ask both of you. Being as though the two of you have different amounts of information, Jaron more so, since you already have listened to the Arcantos series, and, well, you, Oscar, haven't gotten to listen to what Jaron has witnessed.
Yep.
But what are you both most excited to learn in this next season and campaign? Jaron, we'll start with you.
All right. So, Two main things for me. First one, this mysterious architect, or how Sauron likes to refer him, the benefactor. I like to know a lot more of his motivations, seeing how he makes all of his individual moves. Clearly, it's a grand scale thing. And yeah, I don't want to risk giving anything away, so I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
But he definitely has all these pieces that are moving. And I'm very curious to see how it all plays out. I like the strategy that he's working. And part of me trying to figure out in the moment, because I have two characters that have to interact with him in different ways. Mm-hmm. Really trying to put it all together for my own sake is definitely something I'm enjoy doing.
Yeah.
And then the second thing I would say would have to be seeing how the core operates as the new age emerges. As William Soar, I've always seen kind of what it was like prior to the reset happening. It was a completely different take. And as we played as William Soar, I did have some downtime in this epilogue thing. Now, of course, things change there, but I want to see how it's like for everyone else when they're playing. Mm-hmm. So that is... those are my two biggest things.
Okay. Oscar?
Well, to me, it would be kind of a reflection of what Jaron had just said. Because the way I see it now, my Arcantos is more of like a foil of Jaron Sauron, in the fact that where Sauron is embracing the change and knowing how, he's trying to learn the benefactor in his every move. Arcantos' view of the architect, as he would himself would call it, is more of like kind of a good trying to stave off evil type of thing, like something that maybe someone who's stuck in the past, because if one would know, Arcantos was in the mainframe for a long time. Well, to him it was
only like
maybe like a week or something, like maybe around there. But then in real life, it was like over 100 cycles. 100? Yeah, exactly.
You went in cycle 30, came out one cycle 140.
Yeah, so 110 cycles around there, give or take. So it's more like Arcantos would have to
if
he loves change. He loves
things
evolution.
Things were different in that series. If you did certain things differently, you wouldn't have come out that far.
Yeah. I mean, do I regret it? Probably not.
It fit well with the story.
It did.
It
sucked.
Like,
in a way, in a perspective, in a perspective, it did suck that it had to be that long.
Those just certain decisions. Yeah.
I mean,
we'll get into it. We'll get into it when we talk about the Arcanto series.
But to just but just to finish the thought, it's more like he's a relic. He has to change in a way, and so seeing him as kind of like maybe as a alien instead of the main character himself, he'll be more of like a sage, kind of like. What was it? From Lord of the Rings, Gandalf type of thing.
Okay, yeah. You're like you come in, help them out for like a second, and then
just
come
bounce.
out. Yeah. I did tell them. So we're recording right after the first episode of the live stream campaign. Mm-hmm. And I told the players like, oh yeah, Arcantos is going to be a character that you're going to meet later on. He is already level 12. And they're all like level 2
or 3
to
was it?
I think 2 and 3 right now.
Because I don't know anyone else who's from then level beyond level 3, but I saw like a couple being level 2 and one of them being level 3. It's like those are the heydays right there. Remember those times? Mm-hmm. But as you said, they'll see that people who are level 12 at least, if not like prestige, they'll be important in helping them along the way or impeding them. It depends.
We will see how it goes. Go ahead and listen to the first entry of the New Age campaign. You can listen to it on the YouTube channel. There will be a link in the description. But with that, we're going to go on to the next question I have for both of you. Through this entire journey, the podcast and everything that we've been through since we kind of started on this, what are some of your favorite moments from the third season, and what do you hope to see happen with those specific moments? Like if there's like anything that might, drive forward through this season 4. Jaron.
All right. So I mean, there's going to be some bias because there's two things I like to reflect on. One of them being Chiron, of course.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I am deep into it, and I love where his story's going.
Yeah.
It's been a very difficult... Well, okay, I thought it would be difficult for me to have, like, a more theocratic character. Mm-hmm. I thought that'd be something very difficult for me to, like, act into it, but it's so believable. And, like, it's fun getting immersed in that. So when he finally starts building the Republic, mm-hmm. and he's getting to this point, making all of these moves, knowing how to appoint people to certain things, coming in contact with the benefactor, and how that influences the entire Dawn and Dusk too. Seeing all these things intersect. I want to see where that goes.
Okay.
Very excited about that. But my other one, Keena Jolan's story. I know a good amount about the other regal entities, but Phoenix is one I am more unfamiliar with, which is so strange because Phoenix is one of my favorites because we kind of made it as like a libertarian paradise.
Yes. Yeah.
So I haven't really had this chance to see it explored too much, and I just have a soft spot for Muzo as a character. So I want to see where he ends up going and how that might clash with Keena.
There's some interesting stuff with that. I haven't got into like it. There's some things in the background that have put that on the back end of my storytelling journey, but I'm getting that all situated and scheduled out because some players don't have a good enough schedule to be able to continue certain things. But that is definitely going to be a major part of the New Age campaign, and also the storyline with Keena is. I have to play a lot of different characters in that one, and I have to jump between voices. It's not very fun sometimes. But
as long as it serves the story.
Yes. But yeah, Oscar, what about you?
Well,
what were your some of your favorite moments inside season 3, and what do you want to see come from them?
Well, honestly, and then this is not me being biased. Actually, it's I would say my own, but it's more like I think there's one of the story that I liked better. It's Arthadian Swords with the Plasmatic Knight saga, and this just it kind of reminds me of like with William, out of action or wherever he's at. The fact is Arcantos himself would have to interact with someone who's related to him, but hasn't had the chance to, and has that nurturing evolution of a relationship, and see like maybe he'll see William inside Thanian in some sort of way, and maybe even beyond something, something more.
Yeah, that's gonna be a very interesting dynamic, because of what I know, and what I'm sure what Jaron, and how like Thadian is. Because Thadian is like I'm planning on Thadian to be a major character in this entire thing. I mean, he is helping you to basically acclimate into the new
era, basically.
Yeah,
the new age.
And Thadian is also an Arc Forger, which my Rune Forger Codex entry. If people haven't checked it out yet, it is pretty awesome. Arc forging is a unique thing now inside the core, and you'll probably get to meet some of Thadian's apprentices.
Kyver.
Yeah, maybe.
Kyver, man.
But yeah, with that, Jaron, since we haven't gotten into it yet, my audience will get to witness an epic and tragic story between your two chosen. We hinted at this in Season 3 during your trilogy as Chiron. Without spoiling anything, what can the audience expect from your Reborn in Power series?
Expect consequences, to say the very least. We've hinted a lot at the Dawn and the Dusk and how they eventually have to come together. They have to meet we'll see who succeeds and who does not. And since I play both of these characters, it's quite the experience because I don't know who I'm rooting for. I never actually know. Like, yeah, William Soar has been like my main person for quite a long time. Longest character I've ever played.
Yeah.
And then Cyron definitely is like on the newer side, but based on how many sessions we've done, I mean, I've been playing him for like at least 6 months, right?
Mm-hmm.
Roughly?
I mean,
maybe even longer.
No, a year.
At least, a year probably. Yeah. So I definitely grown quite fond of him as well.
Mm-hmm.
So trying to match that out, I play Cyron as if he needs to overtake the Dawn. And William is just trying to figure everything out. He's confused and he's panicked.
Mm-hmm.
Having to play both sides of that, knowing that they both have to face, is something that's pretty difficult for me to try to do. But I think, especially towards the end, I think I really come into my own for that.
Honestly, it is probably going to be the climax of season 4. Like, just to put that out there, it is a very intense storyline, and it's fun because when we were recording them, there was a point in time where Cyron was going through a time skip, and we basically would record. We would start with William Soar, and then we go and switch over to Cyron. So you had to literally play them in the same session, but they were like on different sides of the core. So it's like you had to switch.
Exactly. And like we would have story arcs, but then sometimes it'd be like, 3 sessions, Cyron, 5 William Soar.
Yeah, it would be like
we would mix it a lot just to make sure each one was catching up properly.
And each one has it hints at both of them at the same time. So you're getting kind of both stories also like told on the other like side, and it literally paints Eve more as a dichotomy between the two Dusk and Dawn eras,
which is literally where she's at.
Yeah,
which is why it's perfect. It feels like poetry,
like a balance, huh?
Yeah. My question to you is like another question to you. Right now, we're kind of going through a not recorded section with Cyron. This happens before the climax of everything goes down. And you're kind of going through an area that hasn't been explored and no one truly knows. Without really spoiling anything, what is your take out of what you're witnessing right now?
This is something I've always wanted to take a look at, but didn't know how it could fit into the story originally. Mm-hmm. And it's because I never thought I would have a villain character either.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to go into this realm and actually test my skills, my loyalty.
Your willpower.
Definitely my willpower, but I got that 15.
Yeah. During you guys will be able to kind of insinuate about where Cyron goes during when the series comes out. You'll get to see. But Oscar, let's move on to you. Having just finished the first live stream with the new squad of Chosen, you've gotten a little glimpse into their personalities. Do you think they have what it takes to embark on the mission that Arcantos and the others have for them? And if not, at what point do you think they will be ready?
It kind of is, not saying a tough question, but it does have a considerable amount of thought into it. Kind of their interactions with each other is reminiscent of William's squad, High and Mighty, in some sort of way, where they're not saying...
I don't think they were as... sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
I don't think they're as conflicted as the High and Mighty, like, because I remember when Jiraiya got shot in the foot.
Like for I remember that.
No, but I didn't. But I didn't.
Core. I know,
but you can't blame him.
Also, Navi.
Yeah, Navi.
Remember that was a bit like
that was a tough introduction.
Yeah, that was butting heads.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. And then it was kind of Doom Squads where it's their loyalty within each other in a way. I could see the dynamic where a couple of them seem to have history, and even though there's no connection on another one, it's just the fact that am I allowed to say their names?
Yeah, you can say
like
their names.
like and I like what was it? Marmaduke.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's like honestly like Will times like 10 at least, and not times 100. Like he's that of a charismatic person.
Yeah.
That it just fits and interweaves the whole dynamic of the team with Sai and
with Sai and
Arak, yeah. And you know,
it's okay if you don't know their names just yet.
Yeah.
We just went through the first session.
Yeah, but I do remember. I think Arak was the only one that was like kind of like, okay, that's how his name is.
Yeah,
and then
he's the Redicon actually.
Yeah, the Redicon. Yeah. Pretty good models though. Pretty good models, all four of them. But yeah, from there, if they're ready though, it's not like it's not. I'm not saying
I
it's
understand.
Based on, yeah, it's not. Here's the thing: it's not based on level because obviously, like, you know, they're like level 2 and 3, and obviously Arcantus is like level 12. But
do you think that they have like? Do you think that the personalities would have the mentality to be able to handle what Arcantos kind of went through?
I gotta be honest. I know not at least. I think most one of them, and it'd be like the central pillar. Like I think it'd be like either Sin or Marmaduke. But even then, it's just they need to have a minimum requirement, a minimum like stable mind, willpower in order to go through with it.
I think Sai is the only one with the highest will right now.
Yeah,
she did roll a 24 on her.
On
her,
what was it, perception, or
was it
discipline?
Remember when she
grabbed Buddy?
She grabbed Buddy.
Dude, that shit was okay. My bad.
You gotta watch.
You're gonna have to watch it, Jaron.
It's funny. It's pretty entertaining.
But yeah,
I'll check it out for sure.
Yeah, to finish the thought, as long as if it's at this moment, if at least Sai is able to be like the pillar, the central support on like helping Marmaduke and the others, then they'll be able to go for it. But again, one small chink in the armor would just collapse everything.
Yeah.
So I would assume that, or not assume, I would say that they would probably need a little bit more time to acclimate their achievements and their experience.
Mm-hmm. Next week, the prologue to the actual New Age. So the next episode is coming out next week when this episode airs. But you're gonna get to see how they all met, how each of the characters met. Mainly Sai, Arak, and Marmaduke.
Yeah.
Those three, how they meet, and the story of how it's gonna play out, kind of thing. And I'm excited for that because it's definitely an interesting take on things, and I don't know how this campaign is going to like maneuver through everything. So I'm excited because even I don't know exactly what's going to happen. That's why I love the improvising each session, because sometimes it just goes in a completely different direction, like how you're
See, even when things do not go the way they expect, it's like it goes the way it needs to.
Yeah, it's
that's true.
There's something about the dice sometimes. It just decides today you're gonna have a bad time, but it's gonna work with the story. I mean, you saw it.
Oh yeah, I saw it.
inside the mainframe. So I know you probably haven't like listened to the mainframe in a while, but with the mainframe, there was an episode in there that dove into the background behind what is kind of going on, right? And it had to do with Onzega and that whole situation. What do you guys think of that? What is your take on this situation? I know you have. Go ahead, just go ahead. Say what's on your mind, Jaron.
There's only one thing I was predicting that I had correct.
Oh, go ahead, say it.
It's like his face was just telling it everything. Like, just let me speak.
I'm pretty sure inside the session, I was like, Jaron's gonna be happy. At the end, remember, like we do our little thing at the end.
Well, there was two things that are important to this. One of them being that. Well, okay, first off, the architect definitely has daddy issues. Okay, I called that, predicted that, and then back when we were just starting the epilogue, like after the original campaign ended, I did assume that Onzega would somehow make a return in this, or would play a bigger role in it, because when we started talking about this, like, architect, benefactor, it operated in a very similar kind of way, how Onzega can do so. So I thought somehow that would be related into it. But so it's nice having that kind of confirmed.
Amanda would always, sorry for calling you out, Boo, but
Boo, yeah. As if that would alleviate your guilt.
Amanda would keep saying, like, Onzega is the big bad. Onzega is the big bad. Even before that whole thing. I don't know if she still thinks that, but
I mean, it was kind of revelation. It's kind of like it's like a twist that you would see.
Did you ever think that Onzega was the one? Because remember, Wes would always be like, it wasn't Onzega.
Yeah, like I'm like, she had a hint to it.
Onzega had something to do with it.
Yeah, but it's like the twist in itself is also a kind of reversal twist where it's like it wasn't actually him, but he did collaborate with the one that was the big bad, and so it kind of gives you a new perspective. Like, you would think that, oh yeah, like I knew Onzega was the big bad. Like, no, it actually is someone else.
Yeah,
someone that had the resources, the audacity to go through with what they did, and so it kind of misplaced the judgment on Onzega, but it kind of explains why Onzega acts the way he is.
Yeah, and also he's technically not full because his pieces were broken apart.
Yeah.
By Synchronous. For that
punishment.
Yeah. So,
and also I do kind of like the dynamic between him and Vicronix. So like even the both being the children, like the primary children.
Jaron doesn't like Vicronix.
Oh no! The Vicronix, no matter who I was or whatever, has always screwed me in some capacity.
Oh, must be not. No, I'm just kidding. Like,
I preferred Vicronix when it was just like the library for me to get knowledge and whatnot. That was the time I tolerated him the most. But out of all the entities, I would definitely say Vicronix is my least favorite.
Oof.
Even though I like the world, but it's just my interactions with him have not been positive.
Bro, at least he's better than his father, Synchronous. Synchronous is a whole different breed, man. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man.
Yeah. So, I don't have any more questions. But is there any thoughts that you guys want to end on for this Podcast Reborn?
There's a lot of work that goes into not just recording all these sessions, but being able to find ways for everything to intersect, intertwine. There is a lot that must be done to get it to work right. And I've been taking part in, and for this season alone, like 20-something episodes worth of stuff.
Yeah.
I know Oscar is doing a lot to contribute as well. Not just with like helping with the live streams, but he has his own recordings he's doing too. Man, you do recordings with quite a few people, and you found ways to make all the story stuff make sense. And we, at least the players so far, have become so invested that we really like to like see and guess what's happening next. I know the podcast is starting to do this for other people too. We're grateful that you're making this for all of us. So,
I do concur.
And on the week of Thanksgiving.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Oh yes.
Even and here's the thing: even if we don't get to, sorry, I just lost my train of thought right there. I had it.
Like
I had it.
Like you don't get to like experience the thing that you want to, kind of thing, or like
No, I just lost it. I think that introduction made me lose my flow. I had it.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. No, but the point I'm getting at is that it's like we're grateful for all the work that you're putting in, and even if you haven't listened to season 1, 2, and 3, it's not necessary for this, but it provides a good amount of noticeable context that really helps out. And season 3 has a good amount of sessions too.
You'll get a lot of puzzle pieces if you really dive deep into the previous seasons.
Exactly. They're wonderful additions. Some of them actually will reveal a lot, but it's not entirely necessary. But they all play their parts, and I think it should all be watched. I think season 4, especially in the way you do a lot of your editing, you get the music in, you have pretty good sound systems to record the stuff too. It's definitely, I was immersed before, but when we do a lot of research, especially my personal favorite with Note Taker, the Storm plan with the Redicon and doing the slam stuff, that was fun. That was like the most immersive time I felt in all of it, and I still get really close to that feeling whenever we get to play these sessions. So there's a lot of work put into it. We give a lot to do so, and we appreciate that you all listen. But Matt, I thank you for making it.
Thank you for joining me on this journey.
Yeah, I don't regret being your friend. Maybe the only thing I regret is I should have been friends with you sooner. To me, it's just I would see that this is kind of like a home, like a second home. Just having the immersive imagination of creation where you can be who you want to be and just create what you want to create. It kind of has that feeling where it evolves constantly through time, and from there it shows how you can be in life, as well as changing along with the times. And so with all this content creation, it creates its own universe, which I hope it does blow up to magnetic proportions. And then hopefully people would get to know more about this your Arthadian Anthologies, whether it's the podcast, whether it's Reborn in Power, whether it's any creation of fiction, creation of literature, and then hopefully it just expands, because it's something that where I wasn't immersed and I just wanted to help you at first. I kind of felt like, you know what, this is something that I would want to be part of eventually, and would want to help continue to it. And it's pretty awesome. It's one of those things my favorite genre is science fiction and fantasy combined together, sci fantasy. But that doesn't mean that I don't like the other aspects, or you don't have to be a world that there's no magic, there's no technology, but just immersive storyline there. And I'm alright with that. The connection between people, I love that.
Yeah, and this community is growing, and I hope to see it grow more. And that, I just want to thank you both for joining me on this. Very much so. I mean, this is coming out of my head as much as I can, and I want to immerse you guys as much as I can. And I'm glad this is what it is. And I look forward to this new age. Thank you all for listening to this season premiere. And next week will be the first entry of a new squad series. You'll get to listen to the prologue to the live stream campaign. And then, listen to the live stream campaign too on Twitch. Twitch.tv/Arthadian Anthologies. And you can also listen to it on YouTube, Arthadian Anthologies. That's my channel, obviously. And, let's end it, yes? Shall we? So, if death comes to any of you out there,
may you be
reborn in power.